Hey, welcome to KEM Top Talk. This is Marabelle Blue, your host and the owner of Kinky Magazine. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we have it all together now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about news before I move on to my first guest, because there was so many things going on this week that I just couldn't bypass it. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about was the Time magazine cover of breastfeeding out in public, blah, 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 all of this stuff. These free mothers who, feel it's okay for them to, stick out their boob and feed their child. And while I think it's a beautiful thing, I also think that it's a private thing. I also have an issue with a 3-year-old child sucking on a woman's boob. Now, this is my own personal opinion. It's not anybody else's opinion, but nah. That's like seeing a 5-year-old child sucking a bobo, which the way we say it in Puerto Rican style, bobo, which is a pacifier in English, and being pushed around in a baby carriage. No. Take your baby out of the carriage, walk him, and take the pacifier out of his or her mouth, because that's just disgusting when a child is sucking on a pacifier at 5 years old. So if it's disgusting at 5 years old, why would you want your 3-year-old child still nursing on your boob? Let it go. Wrong. Next. I was looking online earlier today. Usually, one of these parody talk shows or these online search engines talk about, remember them. So there was a picture of Lark Voorhees. I don't know if Lark Voorhees is up, but what happened? She was like the cute little black girl on Saved by the Bell. She was cute. She was sassy. I think she was even on Days of Our Lives for a little while. What? Like, why would anybody do that to their face? First of all, I don't like needles. The idea of sticking needles in my face to stop the aging process, no. Girlfriend looked fine. I'm sure that it's not even that she looked fine. It's just a matter of, why do women hate themselves that much to do that to themselves? Look, Madonna, I love her. Icon, you can't tell me anything. Why did you do that to your face? I don't get it. Maybe because, I don't know, because I'm aging nicely. Sure, I can toot my own horn on that. But I think of it like this. You have to hate yourself enough to look in the mirror and like make these changes to yourself. That's completely unnecessary. There's an actress. I always forget her name. She was in The Godfather. Can anybody remind me who she was? The Irish woman. Can't remember her name. She doesn't, do all that stuff to her face. She does the CoverGirl commercials. You see the little wrinkles in her. Christy Brinkley. I don't think Christy Brinkley does anything to her face. She looks beautiful. Cindy Crawford. She's another one. Looks beautiful. Aging gracefully. I don't think you age gracefully when you start sticking needles and doing shit to your face. Next. Speaking of doing shit to your face. The hot dog lady. Now, I'm very critical about my own body. This woman went on TV talking about that she has 15 more years to strip and that she compared herself to Pamela Anderson. No. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, okay, I guess in some part it's good that, she prides on herself and, good for you. Next. Last but not least, our favorite, they call her the Tanorexic woman. Now, the Tanorexic woman is she's what is that word I'm looking for? She's addicted to tanning, which is also, something that they say it's dangerous. Again, when do you look in the mirror and say, enough is enough? I look like smoked bacon. I mean, it's not even the matter of the child. First of all, the salon, I think, should be responsible and say there are no children allowed under a certain age. Now they're talking about this whole, implementing a law that you have to be over 18. That should be a given. A 12-year-old child shouldn't be talking about, Mom, I want to go to the tanning salon to get a freaking tan. No. And this woman, I thought when they first said the news that she was the grandmother to this little girl. So for all of you who think that having the darkest skin is the best thing for you, look at this anorexic woman. She looks like she's 60 years old. I'm sorry. For you to go on TV and talk about somebody else that they're fat and ugly, I probably would rather be fat and ugly than look like you. And that's my rant for today. So, today's show, I have the fantastic author, C.J. Cassidy. He wrote the book, A Tortured Soul. And this book has caused such a stir within the community, all across the board. And it's a fantastic book. I actually read one of his other books, Living La Vida Puta. And these books, you have to get into the zone to read it. You have to be accepting of what it is that you're going to read, because the fact of the matter is when you read books, it's all about fantasy. It's all about your perception of what it is, what you're reading. It's your own private thoughts. It's you and the book. And let's welcome my guest, C.J. Cassidy.
Marabelle, I want to thank you so much for having me on this show. It's really an honor and a privilege.
Thank you for being here. I was so excited to have you here. And look, this is my little book of questions.
Yes, I heard you made notes.
I did make notes. Let's first start off. How many books have you written?
As of today, I have 8 different erotic biographies written and available from Amazon.com and Kindle.
Now, where do you get your inspiration from when you buy... not when you buy your books, because I'm thinking about Amazon. When you write your books, where does your inspiration come from?
Well, actually, the first novel, A Tortured Soul, Confessions of Jennifer X, and Living La Vida Puta are actually based on actual lives. These are 3 women who I've met and interviewed and wrote their stories about trials and tribulations and their ultimate triumphs over their adversities. So this is actually based on real lives.
Is that the reason why you don a mask?
Well, at first I donned the mask in order to protect the subject of the first book, A Tortured Soul, Catherine, because I needed to protect her. Now that I'm coming out to do interviews more and more often and people want to see me, I started wearing the mask because I needed to create a persona that separated the author from the story. And so I decided to do this because nobody ever points and goes, hey, there goes Clark Kent.
Right.
So this is just something so that I can do an interview, so I can answer questions about the books and answer a few questions about the lifestyles of the people I write about.
Do the people well, not so much the people, but was there any book out of the 8 books, was there any book that you found difficult to write? For you personally? Absolutely.
The very first book, A Tortured Soul, the unauthorized biography of Nicholas Anderson, was the most difficult book for me to write. When Catherine first contacted me to write that book, I wasn't into the fetish lifestyle. I was just a regular author writing regular books. She liked my book. She said, would you care to write my story? And I was very fascinated by her story because she was the victim of domestic violence who in later life found and was able to control her pain. But to sit there and actually write these scenes of sexual deviation and fetish desires, that was a little bit beyond my scope. And there was one point where I asked Catherine not to work on the book, but the book was just so important. The theme was so important, and the fact that this had to get out there, I was convinced to go ahead and write and publish the books and continue with the other novels.
Now, this is interesting. This is about a woman who was physically abused.
Physically and verbally abused, yes.
She somehow found her way into the BDSM world.
Yes.
And she asked you to help her write this book.
Correct.
How did she distinguish the two? Was there somewhere in her mind that she felt that being physically? Because I know that the book, and I've seen a lot of things where women and violent, that they don't advocate women who have been violently abused. I certainly don't. How was she able to distinguish the two? I mean, because you would think in your mind, wow, she was abused, but then she went to BDSM and wanted to be abused? Like, what was the difference going on?
I am so glad you asked that question. Catherine has been attacked on the internet as being a coward and a hypocrite, because here's a woman who is being physically abused, but yet she enjoys pain. The basis of her novel was that she got involved with a man, an older man, who taught her the difference of accepting pain from someone else and being in control with it. There are two different things, and I like using this example. You see three people falling off the Empire State Building. Mm-hmm. One person jumped, the second person was pushed off, and the third person is using a bungee cord. Mm-hmm. The person who was pushed off is the person who's being abused. They're in a situation that they didn't want to be in. They're being forced into that situation. The person who jumped is someone who has a self-esteem issue. They have an improper look of their own value, and they want to end it all. The person who used the bungee cord wants the thrill of the jump, mm-hmm. but in a safe manner. Mm-hmm. Catherine became addicted to pain because of her abusive relationships. She began to like pain. But the problem is that she didn't have control as to how much pain she was able to receive. That's where her coworker Nick came in and introduced her into the slave master bondage discipline world. He told her that the pain stops when she says when. Mm-hmm. She was in control of how much pain, when the pain started, and when the pain stopped. Mm-hmm. By having control of her desires, she was able to enjoy it like a bungee cord. Mm-hmm. So she felt safe in that environment, and he had to do this for her because as long as she was being abused, the abuser didn't know when to stop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She had no control. This is in the control of a person who doesn't know when to stop and would not stop if she asked him to. Mm-hmm. When she got involved with Nicholas and his lifestyle, even though she was the submissive, she was the one in control. She was the one who was allowed to say, stop, I've had enough. And develop a relationship with Nicholas in which she trusted him to the point that once he started, even if she didn't say stop, he knew to stop. Mm-hmm. So it's that level of trust that has to be developed in that type of relationship. And that level of trust doesn't exist in an abusive relationship. And it's that relationship that a lot of people who are not in that lifestyle understand, because they don't get it. They lump everybody into that, oh, if you're abused, you're into BS&DM, you're into sadomasochism, mm-hmm. and that's just not true. There are three different reasons, or there are multiple reasons for you to get into that lifestyle, mm-hmm. or be in that lifestyle. Catherine found her escape. I don't recommend it for everybody, mm-hmm. but she found her escape in controlling the pain that she received.
Was writing this book a gratifying and freeing process for her?
For Catherine, it was an amazing catharsis. She was finally able to tell her story, mm-hmm. because she felt it needed to be told. And you'd be surprised the number of women on the internet who have contacted me and said, you told my story. This happened to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't understand what was happening to me. And because of the first book, A Tortured Soul, 39 women got out of their abusive relationships or redefined their relationships to the point where they actually gained control of the relationships that they have. And they're living happy lives now because they can understand what they want out of the relationship.
You, as an individual,
yes.
Do you practice any type of BDSM in your life? Any fetishes? Do you?
None whatsoever. I'm not into the handcuffs, the blindfolding, mm-hmm. the spankings, the tie-downs, the whippings. This is absolutely not a part of my lifestyle, which is why I had a problem writing the first book, because I didn't understand it until Catherine explained to me. Mm-hmm. But it's a funny thing. Now that I've written the books, I've learned that every relationship, I don't care how vanilla it is a slave-master relationship. If you and I are in a relationship and you say, honey, would you like chicken for dinner? And I go, you know, honey, I don't want chicken. Can we have pot roast? This is a relationship in which you're asking for how far do you want this to go.
Right.
And so there's always a level of slave master in every relationship because you acquiesce to your partner on certain things, and those roles do reverse. Is my lifestyle extreme like Catherine's and Jennifer's and Toby's? Absolutely not. Do I say that this is a lifestyle that you should get into? Not my cup of tea. But once you understand that relationship and you develop that trust between people, it's a very rewarding and satisfying lifestyle for those people. And yes, I do understand it.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because people who don't practice any type of BDSM in their relationship or have any fetishes don't really seem open-minded to it. They close their mind at the thought of any type of exerting any type of control in a sexual relationship. And you remain open-minded to that still today.
Today I do. Like, again, I do not practice it, but I understand relationships that do these type of things because it works for them. Take out, everybody has a problem with that BDSM word because it's beating and it's this and it's tying and it's latex. Let's change it for a second.
Okay.
You're a vegan, I eat meat. The things that I do completely appall you as a vegan.
Right.
And yet you as a vegan, I'm totally appalled the fact that you don't eat meat. But you and I can live together like Jack Sprat can eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. As long as we accept each other's lifestyle, we can get along together. As long as I accept that this is what you like and this is what I like. I don't put my ideas on your head. You don't put your ideas on mine. And the people who don't understand the lifestyle because, oh, I don't like it, no problem. Don't get involved.
What do you say about after the book came out? What was the initial response when the book came out?
It was very hard to swallow for a lot of people because you have to understand you're bringing to light a lifestyle and a subject matter that most people don't want to talk about. First, we're talking about domestic violence. There's child abuse. There's all kinds of spousal abuse involved. And now these people come out into a completely different lifestyle, which again, not accepted by the general public. Then there's the graphic sex, which is amazing between, these women and their lovers. So it's very difficult for mainstream America to accept this kind of a thing. Oh no, we're missionary people. We only do it this way. A lot. There was a joke.
I don't. I'll tell you that right now.
There was a post.
There has to be a variety with me because I get bored really fast.
There was a post on the internet that made me laugh, and it was two old ladies talking about, I don't know what the problem with same-sex marriage is. We've been having the same sex for the past 35 years, and I'm fine with it. So, to introduce this type of lifestyle and to actually put a window into this lifestyle for people to see, it was at first very difficult for people to accept. But I have readers who are grandmothers, school teachers, models. Yes, do I have friends who are porn stars and strippers? Absolutely. But I found that my readership is completely diversified through all walks of life. And there are some men who absolutely love my books.
So now what's next? Like, you have this trilogy now. It's 3 stories in one.
Right.
About 3 different women.
Whose lives actually intertwine.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. All 3 won't actually know each other. Catherine contacted me to do her story, and through her story, people absolutely hated Jennifer for her interference in her relationship with Nicholas because she's a cold, conniving bitch. And people absolutely couldn't stand her. Catherine contacted me and said, you need to interview Jennifer to do her story. Why? And then once I interviewed Jennifer, I realized that, yeah, she's a cold, conniving bitch, but she came to it naturally. She was more victim than villain. Once people heard her side of the story, she actually has a fan club now. Because now people realize, it's the old story about before you sit there and say something about someone, walk a mile in their shoes.
Right, exactly.
Now that they walked the mile, they went, oh my goodness, that's why she did this, and that's why she did that. oh, now it makes sense that she would try to do what she did in the first novel. After I wrote Jennifer's story, Jennifer's friend and confidant, Toby, started writing her novel, and Jennifer said, I want you to help her edit her story, which I did, which is Living La Vida Puta, which is the book that you read. But because the three stories intertwined, my readers said to themselves, well, depending on which story you start one, you get a completely different aspect of the lives of this women. So what they asked is take the three stories and write it into to the sequence where it starts off with Toby's story, then where she meets Jennifer, and then where Jennifer meets Catherine and Jennifer meet Nicholas Anderson. So, you know, the continuity of the story is much better, and people are able to understand even better what these women actually went through.
Wow, this is very, very deep. And, you know, we're finding out the reality of stories of women and how they live their lives and how they express themselves. We're going to talk more with CJ Cassidy, but we'll be back after this commercial break. This is KEM Top Talk with Marabelle Blue. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We'll be back.
This is how Mistress Sarah cracks her nuts.
Wonderful pistachios. Get cracking. Dominatrix do it. On command. Wonderful pistachios. Get cracking.
Did you like that?
Ooh, the things we did during the commercial break. Ooh, my.
This is naughty.
Thank you.
Don't be telling everybody our secrets now.
I never kiss and tell.
Hi, we're back. I'm Marabelle Blue, and I'm sitting here with none other than CJ Cassidy, author of
Tortured Soul Trilogy of Pain and
Which
Pleasure.
is right over here. You must get the book. It's like one of the best books to read. Yeah, there's other books around, but if you want something real, read this. And you have to be open-minded and ready for it. If you're not open-minded and you're all religious and Jesus out, forget it. Go somewhere else. Read something else.
Yeah, this is not the book for you.
Yeah, no. One of the things that we were talking about before we went on break was the BDSM lifestyle fetish, that there is a distinguish between the two. And do you think you as a person who doesn't practice the lifestyle, is there boundaries? Are there boundaries set up? Is it realistic? I mean, we all know that there are certain people that like pain.
That is correct.
Of course, if it's done in a correct
Manner.
fashion and manner and respectful. Are there boundaries?
Well, in the original book, A Tortured Soul, when Nick gets Catherine involved in the lifestyle, the first thing he explains to her is that there has to be a boundary. A boundary has to be set, because there's always the line that someone cannot cross.
Right.
And Nick basically told her that if you cross this line, it severs our relationship. But that line was set by Catherine. She had to decide when she had enough, what was something that she liked, what was something that she didn't like. And with every relationship, you know, BDSM has a lot of problems because you have the bondage and discipline, which is the extreme tie-down,
Right.
latex, leather, mask, everything else is done.
Right.
Then you have the opposite side, which is the slave-master lifestyle.
Exactly.
Slave-master lifestyle doesn't have to have anything to do with handcuffs, ropes, chains, or anything like that. It's basically you being submissive to the other person.
It's the whole psychological aspect of it, which a lot of people don't understand. And believe me, we're going to do a show about that in a couple of weeks.
And, you know, and a lot of people, when you hear that, all you think about is the whips, the chains, the this. No, it's not about that at all the time.
Is that why you think that maybe society fears what BDSM stands for or what fetishes, because remember one time I was listening to Howard Stern and Fred, you know, the guy that does all the sound.
Yes.
He said he doesn't have any fetishes, and I'm like, come on, Fred, you got at least one fetish up in there, because I cannot see somebody not having something that doesn't turn them on just a little bit. There has to be something.
Everybody has that one thing that everybody wants to do in bed. Whether it be, I like the shoes that you're wearing, or I like to talk dirty in bed. We'll talk about those shoes later. Or I like to talk dirty in bed, or I like to have the lights out, or I have lights on. There's always some aspect of your relationship. Forget the sex. I'm talking about the relationship that turns you on. The best sex I've ever had, I was doing the dishes.
What?
I
Explain.
came home, I went to the sink, I saw dishes, and I started to wash them. Catherine walked in, and it turned her on to see that. Here's a man being subservient without being asked, rolled up his sleeves, and got elbow deep in soapy water and did the dishes for her.
My boobs are getting higher listening to this story.
Sometimes that's all it takes. A lot of women are very happy with their men just doing for them. Do something for me. Take the kids to the park. Get
Are you
them out
guys
of my
listening to
hair.
this?
I
You
am.
listening?
I am listening to it, and I gotta be honest with you.
Do you hear that voice in the background?
They're actually back there taking
We are
notes.
listening to it, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna buy the book.
You have to come here and introduce yourself. I think people are going to want to know who the voice is back there. Do you want to know?
We'll
You know,
see.
you guys, we have a phone number. You guys can call in, so don't be shy.
We'll see you after the show. This is your deal.
But there are very simple things that you can do to excite a woman. It doesn't have to be whips and chains. Do the dishes. Take the kids to the park. You know, give her money to go get her hair done or go a spa. These are the kind of things that you do, when you do for your partner, they will reciprocate. And, you know, this is the extreme. Nick did everything he could to make Catherine happy. And if it was being tied up, he would do it for her. If it was making her sangria, he would do it for her. If it was a certain sexual position, whatever she wanted, he gave to her because he loved her that much. And because he loved her that much, she was able to express herself and open her sexuality to him.
You bring up very interesting points. I mean, this can go so in depth when it comes to this type of relationship and where it can go. Because the thing is that, you know, I think that when people are listening to you talk about this, you know, this type of a relationship and other interviews that I've done, it's always been the same kind of theme that men will sometimes get a little insecure about what is it to be subservient. They think, well, that's it. I have to surrender and just listen to everything that she says. And it's not really about that.
No.
And there really is a confused and ignorant understanding about what the BDSM lifestyle is, what fetish is, how people incorporate these things into their relationships. You know, there's a commercial that I seen on TV not too long ago. You know how this couple was talking about like these role-playing fantasies. I mean, that's also another thing, role-playing, exploration of your sexual being. And of course, in the next coming weeks, we're going to talk about all of these things because this is what KEM Top Talk is all about. It's all about the exploration of self. And reading this book will probably help you, you know, not just help you in the sense of, oh, look, a new thing to do, but being open-minded enough to say to your partner, let's try something different.
95% of this novel is about communication. Nick and Catherine are always talking, even during sex. Jennifer was always talking. Toby was always talking. There was always an open dialogue between them and their lovers so that they can get the proper feelings out and express themselves. And if you don't like something, honey, I won't try that anymore. But if you love something, we are going to do that again. But this book is all about communication. The word intercourse doesn't mean just sex.
Right.
It means talking. And there's a lot of talking going on in this book. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of openness of feelings. There are things here that I don't like. Let's talk about it.
Right.
There's things I like that. Let's do that again.
No, keep talking.
And there you have it. Keep talking. Keep the lines of communication open between you and your lover.
Right.
And you'll be surprised how satisfying your relationship becomes.
What is in your future as far as your writing and books? Are there any more books in the future that we can look for?
Well, I have to tell you, after writing The Seduction of C.J. Cassidy, I actually said I had retired. I was done. I was not going to write anything past the third book. I'm up to book number 8 right now. What I've been doing lately is other people have been contacting me with their stories of pain and heartache, and I've been helping them edit their books and trying to get them published so we can get some new writers out there to talk about their feelings, because right now, this is what we need. We need people to talk about their feelings.
I absolutely agree, and in a most enlightening way, like stop buttering everything. I want to thank my guest CJ Cassidy for coming in and sharing his story with us and sharing the book A Tortured Soul. You can pick it up on Amazon.com. You can also go to KinkyMagazine.com, and his ad is right there. You can click on the link and purchase the book there.
And it's available on Kindle.
Yes, and it's available on Kindle.
So if you just want to download it.
And up next, we're going to have Zoo Dog come in. And if you heard the song in the beginning, that's them. And they're going to come in and play live for us. And I'm so excited. Can you see how excited I am? Hey people, what's up? It's Marabelle Blue with KEM Top Talk, and I'm here with the band Zoo Dog. And Elena is going to explain who Zoo Dog is and what they sing and what they're about. Hey Elena, what's up?
Hi, what's up? Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. Tell me about your band.
Well, our band is up and coming band from New York City. Two of us are from New York, and me, I'm from Russia.
Nice.
So we're all coming from different backgrounds. We all love music. We all live for music, live and breathe. And so we try to basically be as creative as possible, and you know, our music is our life.
How did you guys come together? Did you all meet in New York City?
Yes, we're basically. I joined all of the guys in like January this year. Before they were jamming together, and basically I said, guys, you know, I write songs, I sing, so let me try to do something to be useful.
It takes a woman to lead, right?
Yeah, it is. I guess so.
So I'm gathering they're happy now.
I hope.
Any complaints?
Hopefully.
Well, without further ado, I'm going to give you Zoo Dog, who also is the intro for my song. And here they are. Zoo Dog!
Yeah. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, let's do it. So this song is called Villain in Disguise. Who are you? What do you believe in? Stranger in the dark, villain in disguise. How to stop the endless chain of sinning, devastated stars. You're falling from the sky. Emotions had passed away. Sadness is your sister now. Disgraceful, pitiful, so ashamed, surviving anyhow.
Not guilty but cruel by nature. With melancholy in your heart, there is no mistake whatsoever. You're falling apart. Who are you? What do you believe in? Stranger in the dark, villain in disguise. How to stop the endless chain of sinning, devastated stars. You're falling from the sky. Desperate calmness fits you the best. You hear the voices, they drive in your mind. Occasional questions, no answers. You must pass the test. All the life that you've never had. Who are you? What do you believe in? Stranger in the dark, villain in disguise. How to stop the endless chain of sinning, devastated stars. You're falling from the sky. Who are you? What do you believe in? Stranger in the dark, villain in disguise. How to stop the endless chain of sinning, devastated stars. You're falling from the sky. Who are you? What do you believe in? Stranger in the dark, villain in disguise. How to stop the endless chain of sinning, devastated stars. You're falling from the sky. Thank you.
That was outstanding.
That was fantastic. Why do I feel like I'm bending over? That doesn't even sound right. What am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about next week's show. Next week is the birthday show, so y'all better be watching. It's going to be an eclectic group of people. We're going to have Sugar and Spikes, Biting Saints, my friend Josh, and maybe a couple of other people. I think we're going to do a live spanking because somebody actually from Zoo Dog volunteered to be spanked on the air. And we all know how much I love doing that. So, say that again. Are they? Are you going to do another song?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Wow, this is a surprise. I didn't know this. So now that you know what next week's show is, they're going to sing a song. I'm going to sign out. Love you guys. No? He's telling me no. I'll be back. Here's Zoo Dog again. I think I laughed too much.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Smile on your face, pretty amazed, beautiful disgrace, brand new race. You're in the place, in the outer space, getting them dazed. Boston to LA, turn the lights on, something goes wrong. We carry on, God is too strong, like Rolling Stone. Pick up the phone, I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone. You can stumble
I need a break. Please, for God's sake, this life is fake, just a mistake. Open the door, I need some more light on the floor. Feelings are raw, taking a chance, making you dance. Distant romance, I'm in the trance. This is the face of a new race. Glory and grace, glory and grace. You can stumble and fall, you can lose it all, but what matters is just moving on, just moving on. But what matters is just moving on, just moving on. Just moving on, just moving on. Just moving on, just moving on.
Well, all right. Zoo Dog, everybody. Okay, so what are we talking about? This is like the last few minutes of the show. I want to thank Zoo Dog for coming in and playing for us. And you can definitely check them out on facebook.com/.
/Zoodog Music.
Zoo Dog Music. Make sure that you friend them and like their page. And I want to thank CJ Cassidy for coming in and and sharing his book, A Tortured Soul. And you can definitely buy his book if you log on to my magazine, www.kinkymagazine.com. And I want to thank Madhouse TV. You can definitely watch a repeat of this show if you missed it tonight. Definitely check it out. Next week, we have a big birthday show coming on because it's my birthday. It's actually my birthday, yes.
Yeah.
And see, already I got the first gift. Pan down to the shoes. Very nice, sexy shoes that I'm wearing. We're going to have Biting Saints, and we're going to hear their music video because they're a very heavy, heavy metal band, and we might break the building if they play here live. We're going to have Sugar and Spikes on board, and we're going to have my friend Josh, who actually wrote a song a couple of days ago, and he sent it to me. It sounds really, really cool, and I can't wait to hear it. And who knows who might pop by. Again, you know, we're going to do a live spanking because I got to spank somebody on my birthday. So maybe this guy over here, right?
Yeah, Tommy.
No, we're going to do it next week. No. We'll find somebody else. All right, people, I'm out. Be sure you log in next week. Call. Don't be shy. And I will see you next week. This is Marabelle Blue with KEM Top Talk on madhousetv.com. Bye.